Okay, so if I were to ask you what you think of the time subscribing to the game, what would some of the things coming to mind be? Both.
The negatives are the outside players. Really negative. I mean, you've got people that are constantly. Are we doing this now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just go ahead, just be completely honest, frank, whatever.
They go into dungeons with not the right gear, don't know what they're doing, and they want to coast. I hate coasters. It's like, do the fucking work or don't play the game.
If you could try and cut back on the swearing.
Sorry. Do the work or don't do the game. On the plus side, we've made some really good friends.
Really good, like...
Coupos, for starters. They're always nice.
They are nice, yeah, for the most part.
We've had some really good adventures and we enjoyed the time that we spent on there. Gameplay's always been good.
Oh yeah, the gameplay is great. It's one of the best things about the game is the adventure and the fun, the design of the actual game. It's just...
One of the things that I have told you that I hate it is I don't like the complexity of the game. As in it's the way it plays out. I'm trying to get it level, I do apologise. For example, you take Final Fantasy 8
with
it
the,
had a dynamic where you just pointed at it and it flew.
You mean with the, what do they call it? The junction system?
Yes. Whereas so many bits and pieces to maneuver, to figure out, to put. I think one of my favourite aspects of the game has been the new quest levels. I've really enjoyed some of the quests. But they've also left a load of stuff open, so it just continues to going.
One thing I was going to say, now I consider myself a casual player, yeah? And the amount of stuff they give you to do on a regular basis, if you want to try and keep up with the curve, then they give you a huge amount to do. I mean, you've got to keep up with your relic weapon, your weekly dailies, your daily dailies. You've got to try and keep getting as much top-end gear as you can for at least 3 classes. You want to be able to DPS, heal, and tank. And that can lead to you doing 2-3 dungeons a day.
Yes, that was.
A Beast Tribe quest a day, maybe. And then there's hunts to consider as well. Now, if you take all of that into account, if you've been to work during the day, then you're going to come home, do an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's going to be it. You're not going to have any time for much else. You're not going to be doing much crafting. You're not going to be doing much new adventuring. You mean maybe 1 or 2 quests a day, but not much. So the amount it gives you per day is a bit much, in my opinion, as a casual player. I mean, there are going to be hardcore players out there that are just, or, you know, people who play more than I do, are just going to be like, oh, they don't give you that much, a couple hours, you're done. Then what are you going to do for the rest of the 8 hours of your day playing? And that's really it. You know, they literally are on there 8, 9, 10 hours a day, every single day. I have no idea how they manage it. So for me, there's a little bit too much to do to try and keep up. And if you don't keep up, if you are kind of a slightly more casual, less time put in kind of player, then you can end up being resented that other people have to carry you through the game. So the amount to do for me is a little bit much, but I suppose they have to balance it as to what keeps people interested, what keeps people subscribing, And if this balance is working best for them at the moment, then good for them. But what you were saying about tanks in particular, going into dungeons that are 10 levels beyond their gear, overpulling because they've got another class at 60, so they think, you know, I can pull this many as this other class, I've got top gear and I'm all the way through on this one, and they come back and go through it again, and they're overpulling it under-geared. So they've got like 3 groups of enemies all trying to chop on them, and they're wondering why they're dying and it wouldn't just like 3 hits. So that really gets on my nerves, to the point where I've really considered starting a dungeon, checking out the tank, if his gear is any more than 10 levels out of date. And this is just for the base game. If they're like 3 or 4 levels out of date on Heavensward, then I'll just say to them, look, your gear is no good, I'm not in the mood to carry you through this dungeon. And I'll leave, you know, if they don't want to do anything about it. But that can lead to all kind of, you know, contention and arguing, but it's just too much to ask to be carried through the game like that. And it happens far too often.
Well, one of the things I was saying, one of the things that really drives me nuts is you get started with a game with a character, and they do semi-side quests, which I love, and then you never catch up with the character again. They just leave it open-ended. For example, like the character that was the female who wanted to be Hunter, Forest that you just brought in.
I don't remember that one.
We have a couple of episodes with her. She gets taken under a wing of somebody to be an apprentice.
I think I get what you're saying. The gaps between catching up with people again is huge.
No, what's
even
happened,
if you even do.
Yeah, but what's happened in that one is that they've given her, they gave her somebody to apprentice with, but we haven't caught up with it again.
Yeah.
They've just left it. Oh well, is she happy being apprenticed? Is she? Because she's quite radical.
Well, hold on, should we pop down and see if she's there?
Well, even if she is there, she just says hello, that's it. You can't catch up with her, you can't get any more information than what is already there.
No, I don't think she's even here.
No. But that's where it gets annoying, because like I said, it just cuts off. And you don't know whether or not you're ever going to come across those characters again. Same when you went to the Mog World. We never heard, I know it sounds petty, but we never heard how the Mogs from
Gridania.
Yeah, got on with the Mogs.
How it all figured out and blended in.
Figured out, because they just, oh yeah, we introduced them, yeah, okay, they had a fun time, that was it. Nothing's been said about them since. That's the passageway down. Why don't the other ones go and visit Gridania? But no, that's not even come up yet.
Yeah, to that extent, the game does kind of, it is a constantly going on and on and on and on thing. And to that extent, what are they assuming people are going to be just playing at the end of the game's life, or are they going to be assuming that people are subscribing for the game's entire lifespan?
I think what you have to take on board is that a lot of people nip in and out the game. So I can see from the players, for the people that have made the game's point of view, that they've just got to do something that's going to incorporate everybody. That's going to keep you interested for that however long you want to subscribe for. That I can understand. Doesn't mean I like it, but I can understand why they do it.
But yeah, my biggest thing about the game in general is not just the people who coast through the game. It's the attitude of people on the whole, and that, I think that comes back to what I was saying about how much it gives you to do per day. I mean, that guy is running past me. I mean, because you subscribe and because there's so much to do per day, you hardly ever get time to socialise. Hardly anyone has time to just sit around chatting. And maybe that's not something people want to do. Maybe that's just me. But I hate not having that much time to sit around chatting. I hate that everyone is always pushing to get as much as they can for the time that they've spent their money subscribing for. Maybe it's that the subscription fee is too high, so it forces people to, squeeze all they can out of it. I don't know. It's just I hate that there are so many jerks just out for themselves, out to get what they can done as quickly as possible, and then before you know it, they're gone again. I mean, you've got some people who will just come back to the game, play for like 2-3 weeks when a patch comes in, and then they won't be in the game again. They'll run off and go play something else.
I think one of the other things that we found as well was the need to dungeon more than anything else. What we found with this game is that more people will take one class of player and will take that class to the very end.
Yeah.
Buy whatever they need, scrounge whatever they need. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had people coming up to us for all sorts. Could you do this? Could you do that? We've had some people that will go, we'll pay you back, and we've had other people that go, that just took it.
Yeah.
But it always seems to be that push for there's an end game level, there's an end game dungeon, go. They don't see.
All right, see you bye. Yeah, exactly. They're going. It's a lot like life as well. I mean, if you spend your whole life pushing for whatever you can get, well, it's like at the end of Crank where he's falling down through the sky and he says, "I wish I'd taken more time to stand around and smell the roses." Or Ferris Bueller say, "If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it." That is literally how it is all the time with players in this game. And one thing we particularly... I mean, how many people, I wonder, have the sightseeing achievements?
Yeah.
How many people will have taken their time to actually do the sightseeing?
Yeah, that's
I don't know
something
anyone.
else. It's not just the sightseeing. What's really annoyed me, especially since the last 2 patches that have come in, they've introduced something and not explained it. Like, for example, in Coorthus, there is a dragon in a cave, locked up. No reason for it, no rhyme, there's a dragon in a cave.
There's 2 of them at least.
Yeah. No reason for it, no explanation for it, no why there's a dragon in the cave, just there's a dragon in the cave.
There are dead dragons all over that place.
Yeah. But it's not explained. I know some of them are left over from the wars and stuff like that, but it just seems a bit weird that you've locked a dragon up in a cave with no exit, no entrance.
One thing I wanted to talk about is the free company situation.
Ah.
Now, I've only ever been in 2 free companies. One of them's been practically empty my entire time I was in it. The other one was really, really busy the entire time I was in it. So, here's my feelings on free companies. Now, I have to explain, free companies are like guilds that you join up with other players and do stuff together. For the most part, if you're not in a large free company, to me it seems you're always going to be struggling. I mean, there is so much to do in the game, there's so much to get done, that if you don't have a regular group of 8 players or more to help you get through the game, then you're always going to be struggling. There are going to be people who are way ahead of you all the time. I mean, even when a patch comes in, there are people who are going to be 10 miles down the road in 2 weeks, compared with you just still plodding along with just what's just come in. So that's another bad thing, but the pressure to have a group of players that you can call on at any point.
Well, also that within the 3 companies themselves is this elitist motif that if you don't do what they want you to do, you don't do the final battle, you're not willing to your way through the game, they'll drop you as soon as look at you.
Are you okay?
Well, that's just me saying
Well, I thought you'd hurt yourself.
No.
Okay.
But it's just me emphasising, I'm sorry.
I have a level 55 Weaver class to do here.
But that's what's really annoyed me, is this elitist, gung-ho, let's kill everything that moves.
Yeah, it's like there's not much middle ground, is there? You're either elitist, do everything, kill everything, spend 12 hours a day on the game, or you're a casual 2 hours a day kind of person once or twice a week who just isn't interested and gets carried through the game. There's not much in between.
I mean, we've taken the route that we always take, which is to do whatever classes we can do as far as we can do them to.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. Let's just get back to the classes here a second. I've done absolutely everything, and I started out doing absolutely everything as well. A year and a half playing, and I'm still doing class quests. Instead of doing absolutely everything, it might have been better if I just focused on 3 fighters, you know, a DPS, a healer, and a tank, and I don't know, a few crafters, and all the
where you have to ask yourself:
all the gatherers.
Is it you that the game that forced you to do it, or was it more the fact that you're want to finish every aspect of the game? You've always been like that.
I know.
You start a game, you're not one of those players that will go every quest and done and dusted. You want to do every aspect of the game.
Well, there is the fact that if you don't do all the crafting and all the gathering, then you're not going to be self-sufficient. I mean, you're constantly either going to be buying stuff at extortionate prices on the market board, or you're going to be asking people to sell you stuff, give you stuff, craft you stuff.
But we've also learned at this stage that we're still having to do that.
Yeah.
We're still having to beg, borrow, steal.
Yeah, a year and a half, and I'm still struggling against the day. You know, I'm balancing the daily grind up with what I need to do, what I can do. And for me, to tell someone from the get-go, oh, you're going to play Final Fantasy 14? Oh, well, you better be prepared to buy the game at £30 for the base game, maybe £10 for an expansion. Maybe a year from now you're going to want another expansion, so that's another £30. You're going to have to pay your, £8 a month subscription, or however long you subscribe for, £30, £40 for 6 months for me. And you're going to need to play for 2 years. You're going to need to play so many hours per day, per week. You're going to need to do blah 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 blah. The ask is too much for me as a casual player. Maybe that's why I need to avoid MMOs. I mean, I knew that World of Warcraft is said to be life-sucking. No, and I've got, we know Jizzy has talked about his Fallout game, and he says, I've spent 750 hours playing this game. And I'm like, what? Let's just have a look at playtime on this a second. This is just this one character, as I've got 7 altogether on the go. 142 days and 24 minutes. Let's just do that maths a second. Get my calculator, if I can find it. Calculator. 142 times 24 is 3,408 hours and 24 minutes. And that's just on this character. Now, if you say to anyone up front, that's what people are going to, what you're going to be expected to do, are people going to play it? Would I have said yes, I still want to get the game if I'd known the undertaking? So I'm not sure. So what would it take for me to come back to the game, do you think? If after I've played Final Fantasy 15, if we're all caught up on all our games, and they have another big expansion coming, and it looks like there's not anything really pressing coming up, do you think, looking at what I'd have to put into it again, do you think I'd want to come back to the game?
Well, I told you, I said I think you'd want to come back to the game if you made me a promise, and that was not to put your heart and soul into it.
It's difficult to do because I love the game.
Yeah.
It plays so well.
But you are almost to the point of stopping having a life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, our daily routine, just to give everybody an idea, our daily routine is we get up in the morning, you will do a couple of dungeons in the morning, and then wherever we go, have to be back by 3 o'clock when the clocks change.
Well, maybe not back by 3 o'clock, but I have to bear in mind that I have to do another couple of dungeons in the evening.
There you go. So that is how our life is run at the minute, around the clock. We have to get these particular quests in before the time change. We have to get other quests done after the time change.
Yeah, if you're not doing a couple hours in the morning and you're not doing a couple hours in the evening, then you're not keeping up. You're not getting anything done. Simple as that.
So would I like you to come back to it under that circumstances? Hell no.
So if I find out that there's another big expansion coming, but they're not increasing the level cap, that might be worth considering. Because that means, you know, I'm already got everyone at 60. So...
Yes, but if you look at the last two expansions, right, they haven't increased the level cap. This last
You mean
time.
patches? That's not an expansion.
Yeah, patches, sorry. They didn't increase the levels down. They did on the first one, but not on the second one.
Yeah, no, they've only had one expansion, that's the Heavensward one. So there's only been one level cap raise. But if they were to do another expansion, I mean, this year, this June, is going to be 1 full year since Heavensward came out. And if it's another full year before they think about doing another one, you know, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Where am I going now? Can I do that? Can I jump off there? Apparently I can. So yeah, if they were going to do another expansion, then I'd seriously have to look if they were raising the cap again. If they were, it'd probably be enough to put me off right there. That's considering, you know, if I wanted to come back at all. If I'm kept busy with other games, I might not want to come back at all. I might just leave it at this. But as it stands, we're going to have to sell up our stuff, our house, because I will not be coming back in a month's time, so the Free Company house, if I left it, would be demolished, because no one else goes in there. My private house would be demolished, because I'm the only one that would be going in there. So I'm just going to have to sell everything up, and either give that money away, or keep it, assuming I might come back, and, you know, then buy a private house again, maybe.
Well, I thought you were going to keep it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying those were the two options.
Yeah.
People there. Oh my goodness. So yeah, on the whole, it would be I'd have to be really, really lacking in my daily gaming life to want to come back and resubscribe to this. And it would probably have to be at least a year from now. Because Final Fantasy 15 is on the way. I want to put you through Final Fantasy 9.
Yes.
We've got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 to play. Kingdom Hearts 3 might even be on the way by the time we've done with those. There are at least 3 other RPG games knocking around that we need to get to. I've got Final Fantasy 4 on the PSP that I really haven't looked at yet. Where am I going to watch? But say if you met someone out and about at a club or a party or some sort of social gathering, say your friend Will, who gave us those other games, said to us, "Oh, you play Final Fantasy 14. Is it any good? I've been thinking about giving it a try." What would you say to them?
I would say give it a try as long as you've got a lot of time on your hands. Even for the shortest amount of time where you're playing just, you know, occasional couple of hours a day, it will take over your life. Slowly.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, then you're not playing it properly.
Well, like I said, you can do what Fizz hasn't done, just, you know, have 1 or 2 characters and build on those. But you still have to put at least I'd say between 4 and 6 hours in a day in order to complete everything.
Yeah, at least after you've gotten past... Yeah, when you get your character to the end game.
And I would say now is a good time to play because of the expansion pack and the extension. So there's more for you to do, a lot more for you to do than there was when we joined.
It's too much to do, that's the problem.
Yeah, but you can take your time over it, where we needed to get it in before the expansion pack came out.
Oh, I mean the getting to level 50?
Yeah, we really chose the wrong time to buy it.
It worked out though, funnily enough.
It did.
We managed it.
Yeah, but look how much time and energy we put into it.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I personally wouldn't want to do that again. I would much happier take my time.
One holy rainbow hat of healing. Let's have a look here. Holy rainbow hat of healing, it'll be 55 somewhere. Where is it? Holy, 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 holy rainbow hat. Where's the hat? Holy rainbow hat of healing. Right, Mithrite nuggets I've got. This is level 55 quest, so this is only halfway through Heaven's Word. But to high quality this, it's going to take several hours of gathering alone, unless I go out and buy it. In which case, I wonder how much it costs to just buy one of those high quality. Let's go have a look at a board, shall we? Oh, I can walk from here, can I? It takes this long just to go and look at the Bloomin' Market board. I suppose there are quicker ways to have done it, but Holy Rainbow Hat of Healing. For high quality it costs near 200 grand. Now I know I can make it, so what do you think? To just cut this one short, shall I just buy it? Let's go see how much money I have got. Now, I thought I had a fair whack of money. But like I said the other day, I saw someone who was happily throwing away around 25 million like it wasn't a big deal. So, yeah, I've got nearly 2.5 million at the moment. So I can buy it. It'll make someone's day to see selling there. Put the rest of my money back. Good lord. I'd say that's another thing I'd have to warn people about if they were going to play the game, is putting up with the jerks.
Because we've had many arguments with those jokes.
Definitely. But I think if I, cut it off here and I don't come back to the game, I would look back on the game fondly if I never played it again.
Maybe.
The game, yeah. The people, not so much.
I found with this game it's exactly the same in life. You find people you don't really want to work with. That you have to because you have to get the job done.
Yeah,
and that's exactly the same in the game.
Yeah, if you put in a situation where you have to work to get a like a career, if you put in a work surroundings, with a group of people in an office or a group of people in a storeroom or a shop or whatever your kind of area you're working in, you're always going to have maybe a couple of people that you get along with, and the rest of the people you'll be indifferent, and there'll be a few people that you absolutely detest. Yeah, same?
Yeah.
So this is what happened in the free company. I went away from my main one for a little while, for the busy one. Is that there was someone in there who was bragging about what they did. Every 5 minutes they were putting on the chat, and you can't really turn off the free company chat unless you turn the whole chat off. So this person was bragging all the time, I've done this, I've got this, look what I've done. You know, this is one of those players who focused almost purely on doing 1 or 2 classes and getting to the end game, and then hoarding all the high-end stuff that they can, bragging about it, and then they, go turn off for the day. Leaving people like me who do as much as they can to get as much as they can to help as much as they can. Just feeling, oh, God, why do I bother? Why do I bother trying to help people? And that's one of the things I wanted to do when I started the game, is help people. And, if I said to myself back then, what I know now, that, I'm not going to get to help anyone because you're going to be struggling against the curve all the way through. And I'm like, oh, right, well, maybe I'll just play 1 class then. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. Okay.